Man, you already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. Philadelphia. We gotta speak on it. To all my Philly cats, you already know what it is, man. I was reading, they're talking about bringing in the National Guard to help with the murder rate and the things that are currently going on in the streets. Now, with all these street dudes, the guys out here doing this, they all have one thing in common for the most part. All of them have spent time locked up. And they've all spent time locked up at the same place. CFCF. Curing From Hold Correctional Facility. A place that, as long as I've been going there, had nothing to offer you but violence. There were no classes. There was nothing to help you better yourself. There was no rehabilitation. It was just violence and incarceration. What happens when you go to jail and the people you have to worry about aren't the guys that are locked up for crimes, which you have to worry about them. That's a no-brainer. That's what everybody expects. But what happens when you also have to worry about the people that are put in charge of protecting you? The guys that are supposed to make sure, that you get in and out in one piece. What happens when they're the ones that you're battling, or they're the ones that are getting away with hurting you? Today we're going to touch on that. Today we're going to touch on the corruption, the COs, the beatings guys are taking. I'm going to show you all some videos so you can see it firsthand. I've seen it firsthand. Anybody in here right now watching this from Philly has seen it firsthand. You done seen them guards rumble. You done seen dudes rumble the guards. That's just part of being in Philly and being in the F. That's not normal, man. Them dudes are dragging dudes, hurting dudes, and they're getting away with it. You punch a guard, you can be in there for jaywalking. Now you're going to prison. They beat you up, you might just catch a charge as well. You know I done seen it. You know I done lived it. So let's relive it. Before we get started, haven't had much sleep. Couple more surgeries on my mouth, and then I'm done with all that. Big salute to everybody that copped the merch. Throw y'all's pictures up, man. Give y'all some shout outs at the end of the video. But yeah, no sleep. Here we are, and we got to talk about it. I've missed you guys. I don't feel right when I'm not in front of this camera. It's like y'all have become my family, man. Y'all are a part of my everyday life. And I'm glad to be able to talk and be back in front of y'all, man. So let's go ahead and get into the whole situation going on in Philadelphia. Anytime you hear about a guard getting into an altercation, you automatically think the guard was attacked. The guard was doing his job. The guard was defending somebody. You never think the guards are the aggressors. The guards are the abusers. So what I am going to do, because it does happen, is we're going to start this off with somebody beating the guards' asses. And you're going to see, when it comes to men losing it and going at the guards, it doesn't matter if you're male, female, race doesn't matter, age doesn't matter. All that matters in that moment is that they're going to get that anger off, and whoever's standing there is going to catch it. And I want to make this clear. I don't think that all guards are bad. I understand why guards have jobs. They are needed. There are people in this world that should not be free. And someone has got to make sure that these men, these women, these crazy people stay locked up so that they're not out here in society to kill your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your kids, or possibly you. So I don't want anybody to take this as he's bashing all the guards. I'm not. I've met some cool guards along my way that were just doing their jobs. And I've met some that deserved everything they got and then some. But we're going to start this out with a dude that went Super Saiyan mode. I'm talking about snapped all the way out and just started doing what so many men have wanted to do. Wow. As you can see, dude went all the way in. They didn't say why he snapped, what provoked it. You see that from dudes that are just crazy in the head. You see it from dudes that have no respect for any type of authority. And then you see it from dudes that have asked for help time and time again. He might have needed something. Might have got tired of asking. Might have felt played. Them dudes up there, a lot of them guards got real slick mouths. A lot of times that's what causes those situations. Or it could have been, dude was just having a bad day. You need to understand that before you go sign up to be a correctional officer, that's what you sign up for, depending on where you're at. That was a female. He stretched her like he would any man. Because when them moments pop off, he knows that she's going to come over there and bust him all upside his head. He didn't see nothing but uniforms. Was it cool he hit the female? No. But like I said, in those moments of fighting, that's no longer a female. When I've seen them dudes snap like that, they don't see no female. They see a guard. They see a uniform. They see somebody that is now going to fight back and attack. He stretched dude, lumped dude up, slung dude, and then turned around and laid the female out. And then went back to whooping dude's ass. She did what she should have done from the beginning. Now, I've always seen it where like you get even look like you got some aggression in you, and they're going to spray you. They're going to shut you down so that you don't end up on your back, so that you don't end up stretched. They came in, subdued him, and the other ones that came in were just like, here we go again. You seen the dudes in the beginning that were standing off to the left? They seen it getting ready to go down before it happened. They knew what was coming. They're not new here. They know the pressure bust pipes. They know this dude's about to snap. They said, look, I ain't getting locked up for none of this. Let me get out the way. Let me get out the shot at the camera. Make sure when these guards come in, I ain't standing here. And because dude's going to do what he's going to do. The dudes on the phone, they're not ending their phone conversations. This stuff ain't nothing new. They done seen this before. Hey, man, they fighting right now. Man, dude is dragging the guards in here. Yeah, they're going to lock us down in a minute. I told you it's crazy in here. That's just some of it. Now, let me get into showing y'all what happens when the guards decide to snap. Everybody thinks it's just the inmates. Everybody thinks it's just convicts, offenders, whatever you want to call them, that are snapping out. When that's not the case. You got some guards that shouldn't be guards. You got some guards that are guards when they come to work, and they're street dudes when they get off. They're street dudes when they come in. You got guards that are looking to fight, got problems at home, marital problems, got picked on in school, couldn't make it as a police officer, just all around having a bad day. The video you just saw, October 29th, 2019. These videos are going to be all over the place, different dates, to show you this ain't something that used to happen. This is something that's still happening. And if it's been going on for the longest time, there's a reason behind it. Watch this next one, and then we'll get into what I think. Did you just see what I just saw? They beat that dude like he was in the streets. Like that was something that would happen on a corner in an alleyway. For y'all that don't know what you just saw, pause. That whole incident started over the phone. That whole incident was because they had called lockdown. I've seen it. They had called lockdown. He's on the phone with his people. And I'm gonna take a couple more minutes. This just happened a couple months back. This isn't old footage. This is a couple months ago. He's on the phone with his people. Everybody locked down. You can see he was sitting down, crouched, so the guards couldn't see him. Guard comes up, tells him, hey, you're supposed to be on the phone. Lock it down. Dude gets up in the midst of going to get off the phone, probably saying goodbye to his people. And the guard reaches over and hangs up his call. Could have been on the phone with his kids, his mama. And you need to understand this. With this coronavirus thing that's going on, people haven't had face-to-face visits with their loved ones in a long time now, since it started. They haven't had a hug, an embrace, a kiss, haven't seen their kids. You're relying on mail, and some places do the video visits. So that phone call is very, very important. Being able to tell your kids, look, I love you, good night. Tell your wife, I love you, good night. Or your mom, hey, you never know what a man might be going through when he's on that phone. What you can't see is when the guard gets up close, when dudes react, I know why he reacted. That guard reached over and hung that phone up. That is a no-no. I've seen it go down numerous times because guards say, all right, click. At the moment they hang that phone up, it is go time. And dude didn't even go. Dude bucked at him. Dude staggered back, and they went on him. They stomped his head, commenced to beating him with the phones, had him on the table beating him, throwing haymakers, hooks, hitting him anywhere they can, several of them. Then they grabbed another phone and started hitting him. And out the blue, here comes one of his homeboys. And his homeboy wasn't wrong, because at that moment there, this wasn't an inmate versus guards. That was his homeboy getting jumped. He sees his homeboy. They're stomping his head, kicking him in the head. And, salute to dude, man. He come running in. And I know they both caught more time. Absolutely. The press ain't going to tell you that. They don't want you to know that. Sorry, I had to stop a second. All that talking we doing, that's the stitches from the inside of my mouth that just came up. Dude's homeboy came to his aid, man. Had that have been my brother, somebody I cared about, and I'd have seen them going through it, I wouldn't have stood by and watched. I'd have done the same thing. He come in and tried to spear dude, and next thing you know, he was on the ground, being punished, stomped, kicked in the head. They jumped on that man's head, beat them two boys like they were nothing. That's somebody's son, just like them guards are somebody's son, somebody's father. But at no point does your badge or your uniform give you the right to disrespect nobody. I told you they're always supposed to move in twos. This guard took it upon himself to hang the phone up on somebody that was way bigger than him, knowing as a correctional officer what's going to happen when he does that. He's in the man's face, running his mouth, things get heated, and the next thing you know, you've got a whole gang of correctional officers beating up a man that's not even fighting him. Watch the footage. He's not swinging. He's leaned forward. He's got his arms out. He's not trying to fight, and they are still just pummeling away. And they wonder why people end up snapping out. Like I told y'all, with the COVID thing, guys are spending way more time in their cell than they ever have before. Used to be a time where you would come out all day, you're going for lock. Come out all day, going for lock. Be out at night, going for lock. You'd only be in that cell when they were doing count. Now with COVID, they're understaffed. Officers don't want to work there to begin with because of other officers, because of a lot of the types of inmates that are there, because of the pay, because of the stress level. So you take all that and you mix it together, and then you take a guard that wants to get into a man's face that's already dealing with being away from his family, already dealing with what's going on with this upcoming case that he has no idea what the future holds. Then you hang the phone up on him like he's just going to be like, Hey, good looking on hanging up on my grandma. Man, I ain't want to tell my kids good night. Thank you. What do you think was gonna happen? The main dude that runs, let me see, his name is David Robinson, president of Local 159, representing Philadelphia correctional officers, was quoted saying that officer was a hero. He resigned before he could be suspended. They said no charges were filed. Yeah, no charges were filed against them. They don't want you to see these things, but every now and then, something makes its way out. If you're just seeing this, imagine what you don't see. I want you to imagine what goes on in those cells and them guards going there, in them hallways, in them dark corners where there's no cameras. You think that's bad? That's what they did with the camera watching. I got another one for y'all. This one takes place in the visiting room. My mother herself got to arguing with a guard up there one time, and the woman called my mom a bitch. A guard called my mom a bitch in the visiting room. I told my mom, go ahead and leave. You ain't got to deal with this, man. I'm going to show you just how quick it can go down, and I'm going to show y'all the chips a lot of these officers walk around carrying on their shoulders. That was October 28th, 2014. John Steckley. For y'all that couldn't break down what just happened, your people come in, you sit down, you get an hour visit. When your visit's over, the guard walks up and says, hey, pause. Your visit's over, return back to your building. Your visitor leaves. This guard didn't just walk up and say, hey, your visit's over. This guard walked up and said, hey, your visit's over. Dude responded, and then the guard just stood there. On some, I said your visit's over right now. That's exactly what I got from the video. Seeing these type of dudes, the bully type guard, the one that's got authority issues, that never, ever in a million years should have control over a man's life, anything of that nature, should not be a guard, needs a mental evaluation. But they take this man and put him in charge of all these other men. You got to remember now, I believe it's 32 cells in a pod of CFCF, so 64 men in a pod. When he's not working visitation, he's in a housing unit. He's over there overseeing all these guys. Him and the guy have words, which he's supposed to. It's because you're locked up. Don't mean it gives them the right to talk to you however they want to. And they believe that. A lot of these guards, when they put them uniforms on, they feel untouchable. They feel like they're above you. Like since you're locked up, they should be able to talk to you however they want to. Do whatever they want to. And you ain't going to do nothing about it because he's a correctional officer. Everybody ain't going for it. I've gotten to argue with him and said some nasty things out of my mouth when they push me. I've seen some dudes take it way past where that went. But as you saw, they were having a disagreement, an argument. Dude is still in the midst of ending his visit, giving his girl a kiss and a hug goodbye when the second officer comes up. I told you, they're always supposed to move in groups of two. That's when he went ahead and called his buddy in. Dude's walking off, and you see the door right there where everything transpired. That's the room where you change out in. When you come in, before you come in there, they change you into that orange jumpsuit. When you're done with your visit, you go back into that room, you change out, you go down this long wall hallway that either goes left or goes right, and then it branches off to, wherever you're at. He's standing there arguing with the guard. They're having words, and out the blue, boom, the guard just hit him. That's assault. Had he had done that, that's assault. If me and you are arguing, we can argue. At the moment I reach out and put my hands on you, that is a crime. You go to jail for that. You and I, me and you, we go to jail for that. He attacks this man. Boom! Man did what he was supposed to do. Started fighting back. The guard dropped him. Continued to beat him. Another guard runs up. The man is on the ground already being punched. A second guard runs up. Boom! 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 Feeding him to him. Beating him on the ground. Now the officer that's in the back, in that room right there, that's changing people out, letting people through to go see their visitors, changing the guys and searching them that are coming back through, that are headed back to their buildings, opens the door and comes rushing out. They grab him and drag him by his feet because where that's taking place, everybody in the visiting room can see it. Now they want to drag him in this room out of the camera view and away from everybody else watching. Do you think it stopped when he got in that room? No, I can guarantee you, when he got in that room, they really hurt him then. You want to hear the craziest part about everything you just saw? Everything we just discussed? The guy that got punched in the face, the guy that was in the orange jumpsuit, was charged with assault. They said they did their investigation and wouldn't comment on it. They didn't see no wrongdoing. Didn't see where anything was wrong with this officer that just punched this man in his face, then have another officer come over there punching him in his face, slamming his head into the ground, only to then have another guard come out and be like, hey, stop. Everybody can see what you're doing. Stop, chill. Grab him. And the dude you can see is like resisting being pulled into that room because he knows once I get in that room, it's curtains, man. You think they just hurt me out here in front of everybody? Once they get me back there, they're going to really, really hurt me. They got him back there with the quickness, and they shut the door. There's a big message for all of this. For people that have got loved ones in jail, especially places like CFCF in Philadelphia, check on your people, man. You never know what's going on. You might think that their biggest threat in there is the other guys that they're around. And like I said in the beginning, that is very true. You are locked up with rapists, murderers, stick-up boys. I'm talking everything you could think of is on the other side of that visiting room where that man's going back to. But you've also got guards in there that have no position, or they have no place having that position in life. Anybody watching that think that man should be a guard? Anybody watching that think the man that got punched in the face should have been charged with assault? That was self-defense. And even then, he only got a couple punches before a dude dropped him and they just started to drag him. Dragging means just beat him down. This isn't nothing new. That's why I bounced around with the dates. There has been 14 deaths in 2021 at CFCF. 14 deaths at Karen Fromhold Correctional Facility. Between people being murdered, between people committing suicide, and then the unknown. If you've got somebody locked up, reach out to them. Make sure they're okay. Check on them mentally. How you doing mentally? I know you're holding up physically. How are you doing mentally? Y'all really don't know what goes on inside these places. I've told you, now you've seen it. I told you CFCF is one of the nastiest places, and I don't mean as far as cleanliness goes. It's one of the nastiest places I've ever been when it comes to guards. It's one of the first places I ever actually seen a guard start a fight with an inmate and then watched an inmate get jumped. I watched a dude have words with a guard passing by, and the guard, "What'd you say?" And dude, man, you heard what I said, kept walking. And then the guard just run up and punch this man while he's not looking, level him to the floor. And then I watched the other ones come in and they commenced to beating him down and then drug him out of there like he was a piece of trash. Wake up, people. This is not a place you want to end up. None of these places. This doesn't just happen there. It just happens that there's footage of this. These are not the things they want you to see. If they had any power over it, none of these videos would have ever gotten out, and they would have denied all of it. The videos don't lie. That's why I ask y'all, I talk to y'all, I tell y'all these stories. Whether you believe it or not, they're all facts. I tell you these for a reason. I don't want to see you ever end up in that situation. It's not a good feeling when you know that your back is against the wall, that you're going to possibly hurt somebody, get hurt, and that no matter what happens in the fight, you lose. At the end of the day, you lose. Because the guards are going to stand together. And like I said in the beginning, they're not all bad. They're not. I've met some cool-ass guards, man. I've had guards lie for me. I've had guards cover things up for me. I've had guards warn me that shakedowns were coming. I've had guards tell me, hey, this person told on you. But I've also had guards that made my life a living hell. The penitentiary is no playground. Jail is no playground. Stay free. Live your best life. And if you do, decide to commit crimes, understand this is what can possibly happen. You can Google these things in other states. This isn't just an isolated incident. This is nationwide. And the problem is usually the footage never comes out. The footage gets erased, or they say, nah, he started a fight. We did what we had to. The inmate became combatant. So we subdued him and used necessary force. We find no wrongdoings. Wake up, people. Please wake up. To the youngins watching, you young boys out there watching, this is the reality. This is the price you pay for the games you play. Aside from being locked in that cell, missing your mom, your kids growing up without you, people dying out here in the world, and you're in there and you can't do nothing. The girl you've been with forever starts cheating on you and leaves you. But now you got to deal with the everyday stresses of not just the men around you. These dudes around you that have done crazy things that ain't got no problem doing something to you. But then you got this guard that comes to work that's going to put on, that knows if he wants to, he can split your shit to the white meat and ain't nothing going to be done about it. I appreciate y'all watching this, man. I hope that, for anybody that can make a change, do something about it. And if you can't make a change, make sure you don't become part of what you just saw. This is a hard video for me to get through. My mouth is illing. I've had no sleep once again. I worked all day. That's what men do. We provide for our families. I was once that man in the orange jumpsuit. Maybe not in the situation that you saw, but I've walked through them same doors. That pod that man was in that was on that phone, that was B13. I've been in there. At the time I was in there, it was the intake pod. It was like quarantine almost. You stay in there for a little bit of time until they decide whether you're going to House of Corrections or PIC or, wherever you're going to go else, wherever else they're going to put you in CFCF. That is a pod you start out in. You just got there. Most of the guys that are just getting in there really need to use that phone. You might have bail. You never know what's going on. But I do know this. You do not have to go through that. Don't go through that. Make a change today. Stop while you still have a chance. And to the guards that are watching this, those are human beings. Leave your personal life at home. Treat everybody else in there like you know them. Never forget that just because he's locked up doesn't make him any less of a man or less human than you. Let me jump into some of the people that purchased the merch and show some love real quick. Instagram showed me the photos. I was lucky enough to screen save them, but I don't know whose names go to whose photos. But big salute to all of y'all, man. Thank you. Thank you for listening, following the movement. Thank you for purchasing the merch, taking the time to listen about my life, taking the time to make a change in your life, taking the time to do something better than you've done. I'm a prime example that we can all do better. And I salute all of y'all. Thank you. Y'all are the real ones. You don't have to buy merch to make you real. Real is just being real to who you are. And I thank each and every one of y'all. Once again, big salute to everybody that purchased merch. It's available. Big salute to everybody that watches, man. Everybody that subbed, everybody that follows me, everybody that takes this trip with me through this life. I ain't gonna lie. It's a hard video to get through. But we made it. And it's worth it. I told y'all I wanted to do a little more than just all my experiences and things I had seen. Let me know what y'all thought about today's video in the comments section. Hope y'all happy with the later post this evening. Y'all probably thought it wasn't coming. You know I had to be here, man. I miss y'all too much when I'm not behind this camera. Like I said in the beginning, we've become a family. I reach out to a lot of y'all. I'm going to do more communicating through the Instagram, more through the emails. Just always keep in mind, I'm one person. I'm one person trying to make a change. And I'm proud to know that everybody's watching, and that so many are listening and willing to change. But anyways, man, these jails, institutions, detention centers, these prisons, these guards, they're all just crazy worlds inside of this already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. And y'all know how we do. Salute.